Move a little bit that way.
Okay.
Ha!
Say something.
What must I say? Can you say something?
Hello, welcome back to
In Bed with Homie Matrimony.
And today we'll be talking about the ABCs of communication.
All right, so tell me about this little filming session that we saw you doing. What's it all for? What's it all about?
Well, I decided to leverage this whole industrial complex. I mean, people are obsessed with mixed race couples. Obsessed, completely irrationally interested in how the mechanics of interracial relationships work, as though I'm married to somebody from outer space or he's married to somebody from outer space. So for us, it's just we're leveraging the interest that people have, you know, to be crude and frank about it. People want to know what are the mechanics of this relationship. But we also have a marriage. We've been married for 6 years. We've got 4 kids and we have a lot to share. So, I mean, outside of us taking, leveraging people's strange fascination, you know, as a couple, as human beings who are married to one another, we have a lot to share because of our experience, many kids in a short space of time. We decided to do some videos and share our insights.
Why do you think people are still so obsessed?
Because the world is race obsessed, I suppose. That's the truth, you know. And we still, you know, we haven't overcome racism. We haven't overcome white supremacy. We haven't overcome sexism, misogyny, colorism, classism. We haven't overcome any of those structures. So to see how people are managing their lives on the daily within those structures is something that's fascinating for a lot of people.
But Tim, I should imagine, it's probably mundane for you now because you guys have met and, as you said, your planets aligned. But I suppose in a way you can set a good example for people. I mean, you can teach people stuff that should already be known, but it isn't.
I mean, maybe it's simplifying the issue a little bit, but it's like if you honestly, genuinely see someone as your equal, those things start to fall away. Racial things, patriarchal things, and where they come from is one group feeling superior to another or treating another group as inferior. And once you honestly, genuinely see someone as an equal to you, that's the first step towards this thing will go away. You know, I mean,
well, I don't think it's that simple to say that people treating people differently will make the structures go away, but people recognizing the existence of those structures starts to make us really think about the implications of them, you know, because I mean, it's this thing that people like to say of, you know, let's just all marry different cultures and racism will go away. Racism is not between human to human. It's a structure, it's a system, it's got a historical basis to it. And it's so entrenched in the law, in the way that the world works and everything like that, that it takes more than just a black woman and a white man to love one another to kind of chip away at that.
And when you saw each other, was it love at first sight or was it being a sangoma where you steered in his direction?
I was definitely steered in his direction. I had no intention whatsoever, and he never had an intention towards me either.
Yeah, it wasn't love at first sight. We don't even remember meeting each other. It's like we just sort of became friends, and then it started to just be like, whoa, hold on, maybe, you know? So it wasn't, you know, after she sprinkled the things in my food and it was all over.
That was it, you know? Came around in the night on my broomstick. You know? Can
you sprinkle some in mine, please? And, I mean, other than, you know, those issues that we discussed a little bit earlier on when you told your mates, your family that you're marrying a Sangoma, what was the response?
At first we didn't tell them that, you know.
Why?
But my mom's, so my father was a preacher, and he was still alive when we met and started dating, and we just didn't know. They weren't familiar with really what a sangoma is and what that practice is and what that calling is, and a lot of people see it as almost as a contradiction to Christianity or something that conflicts with Christianity, where it doesn't. So what we thought was, let's get them to know her as a person and understand her as a person, and then to be able to say she's a sangoma, to be like, oh, okay, well then it's not such a big deal. It's not like anyone resisted. You know?
Their reaction wasn't a reaction that was I understand white South Africans, Christian, you know, you would have expected perhaps a bigger kind of response, but I think that they saw us, we fit together, they saw me, they were just like, okay. Because I mean, I'm sure they'd never even met a sangoma, you know, and for most of their lives probably they never really interacted with black people, having been brought up in apartheid South Africa, you know, so their interaction with black people was always very much mediated by that reality of them being white in South Africa, and the truth of that remained, you know. But when they tried really hard, I think.
They were very cool.
They were very cool about it, actually, to be honest. Because I remember there was that one time at dinner when we had dinner with some friends of theirs and they were like, so what are you doing? I'm like, I'm a Sangoma. And they were like,
Like,
oh,
Lovely, pass the salt. Okay, what can we expect from you two now going forward in the next while?
First of all, no more children.
Yes.
That's what you
can't expect more children.
Okay, I know they're cute and everything, but there'll be none of that. And I mean, more, I don't know. I mean, really, just more of what we do.
Yeah, we don't know. We have this approach that we call it guidance, and we believe a lot in guidance and the universe or God or whatever people call that.
Cosmic force.
Yeah, force to kind of guide us in the direction we should go. And so far, we've lived our lives, both of us. And that was the one thing we really do have in common. We've lived our lives with that guidance, and we've let that guidance lead our paths. And our paths have come together. So now we're combining that approach, and we'll see what comes next. We have our plans, but we'll see what happens. You know?
I'm glad that all of our paths came together.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing
Cool.
your
Thank you.
family time with us.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.